President Biden ripped former President Donald Trump for what he called the big lie that spurred the Capitol assault 1 year ago and continues threatening democracy. AP's Sagar Magani reports.
For the first time in American history,
the president had not just lost an election, he tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
President Biden says Donald Trump spurred his backers to attack the Capitol and democracy itself by spinning a big lie that the election was rigged in a bid to ease his ego.
He's not just a former president. He's a defeated former president
who continues sowing anger and division, his voice rising inside the Capitol Statuary Hall, which rioters stormed a year ago. The president vowed to stand in the breach.
I will allow no one to place a dagger at the throat of democracy.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
Fresh violence erupted in Kazakhstan's main city of Almaty on Thursday as Russia sent in paratroopers to put down an uprising in one of Moscow's closest former Soviet allies. Police in Almaty said they had killed dozens of rioters into the early hours of Thursday morning. Authorities said at least 18 members of the security forces had died, including 2 that were found decapitated. Thursday evening saw renewed battles in Almaty's main square, occupied alternately by troops and hundreds of protesters throughout much of the day. The General Secretary of the ex-Soviet alliance, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, told the RIA news agency the overall peacekeeping force would number about 2,500 and could be strengthened if necessary. The United States said it was closely monitoring reports of the deployment and added it had questions about whether the forces were legitimately invited to the country. The World Health Organization said Thursday a record 9.5 million cases of COVID-19 were tallied around the world last week, marking a 71% weekly surge that amounted to a tsunami as the new Omicron variant sweeps worldwide. However, the number of recorded deaths declined. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said to end the acute stage of the pandemic, more vaccine equity is needed.
Vaccine inequity is a killer of people and jobs, and it undermines a global economic recovery.
The UN Health Agency, in its weekly report on the pandemic, said the count amounted to more than 9.5 million new cases, with more than 41,000 deaths recorded last week. That's compared to 44,680 the week before. At least 2 Sudanese protesters were killed on Thursday while taking part in the latest mass demonstrations as thousands took to the streets of Khartoum and other cities demanding a transition to civilian rule after October's military coup. Security forces fired tear gas to disperse the crowd. The Sudanese Professionals Association, which spearheaded many rallies since the October 25th coup, called earlier on protesters to march to the Republican Palace, the seat of the ruling military government in Khartoum. Since the October 25th coup, at least 60 people have been killed and hundreds have been wounded in clashes with security forces as they sought to thwart protests. Film director Peter Bogdanovich has died of natural causes at his home in Los Angeles. He was 82. AP's Margie Zaraletta reports.
You boys can get on out of here. I don't want to have no more to do with you.
Peter Bogdanovich became a big name in Hollywood after the success of the 1971 film The Last Picture Show. He was 32 at the time. It earned 8 Oscar nominations and won 2. He followed that with the comedy What's Up, Doc? And the road trip film Paper Moon. Bogdanovich said in a 2002 AP interview, despite his success, he got newfound fame for playing Elliot on The Sopranos.
People who wouldn't normally recognize me as a film director suddenly recognize me as the guy on The Sopranos. Oh, he's the guy on The Sopranos.
I'm Margie Zaraletta.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits rose last week, but remained at historically low levels, suggesting that the job market remains strong. The Labor Department said U.S. jobless claims rose by 7,000 to 207,000. The 4-week average of claims rose by nearly 4,800 to just below 205,000.